Time now for Michigan's #1 outdoor radio show, Mike Avery's Outdoor Magazine. Outdoor Magazine is brought to you by Jay's Sporting Goods, the Yider Insurance Group, Forward Corporation and T.R. McTaggart, Angler Quest Boats, Security Credit Union, Garber Chevrolet, and by Michigan Brand Meats. Now, here's Mike Avery.
Well, thank you, Ken Hunter, for that introduction, and welcome to another edition of the Outdoor Magazine radio show right here on the Outdoor Magazine radio network. So glad to have you along with us as we continue to celebrate this history and tradition of the outdoor lifestyle here in the great state of Michigan and occasionally beyond. So nice to have you along with us. So we got past Thanksgiving, right? We got that behind us. Now we got Christmas coming at us, and of course everything's a little bit different this year, isn't it? But all we can do is make the most of it. We did get our first snow in my neck of the woods finally. We'd had snow to the north of us, we'd had snow to the west of us, we'd had snow to the south of us, but we hadn't had snow yet. The other night we did indeed get a nice snow. It was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Not fun to drive in. I did find myself driving in the heart of the snowfall. But we better get used to it, right? This is Michigan after all. It was a nice snow because it came at night and by the morning it had pretty much melted. That's my idea of a nice snow. And the older I get, the more I like that type of snow. Snow, of course, wonderful for deer hunters. People always ask me, why did deer hunters like snow? Well, there's a couple of reasons. Number one, if you're out there in the late season after the leaves have all dropped, but before the snow falls, it can be kind of hard sometimes to see brown deer moving against a brown backdrop of woods. You get snow on the ground and everything changes, especially if you're up in a tree stand, because then you're looking down at a brown critter moving against white snow. So that's one reason deer hunters love snow. The other reason is once you put a hit on an animal, it's a lot easier to track in snow than it is without snow. So that's why deer hunters love snow. Also, in the southern part of the state, deer hunters love it when the corn comes down. Because when you've got standing corn for the opening week or so of firearm deer season, it's tough because the deer get in the corn and there's no reason for them to leave. And deer harvest numbers go down. And our success rate as hunters go down, although my success rate couldn't go down any farther than it already is at right now. I haven't taken a deer yet, not for lack of trying. I haven't taken a deer yet. Haven't even had a shot at a deer, either with my recurve or now during gun season with my 30-06. Haven't had the opportunity yet. But to be honest, this last week, I really haven't been in the woods that much. Not as much as I would have liked. We had a situation in my family where COVID hit my family. Mother-in-law had it. Father-in-law had it. Father-in-law ended up in the hospital, pretty sick. So my wife, Denise, was over there helping to take care of him. And so my schedule was a little bit askew this past week. Thank God everybody's okay. But I will tell you this, it's making me take this whole COVID situation a little more seriously than I was. But it's kept me out of the woods. That's why I don't like COVID. It kept me out of the woods this last week. Well, for that and, of course, much more. I think I did hunt one day since we've talked. Yes, I did. And I didn't see an animal. And that seems to be the theme of my hunting season. But that's okay. I talked about this last week. I have my deer hunting mojo back. The passion's not at the level it was before. The intensity's not at the level it was before. But the love for it and the interest in it is back, and I could not be more grateful. And I found out what I had to do was go back to my roots. I put on an orange vest, picked up a 30-06, and went rifle hunting with my son and grandkids. And that's what I needed. I needed to just get away from all the antler point restrictions and the let them go, let them grow, and the trail cam pictures and the mature bucks only and the social shaming on Facebook. I just put it all away. I put it all behind me. I don't care. You hunt deer how you want to hunt deer, and God bless you. And I mean that. Whatever you want to do to make your deer hunt enjoyable for you, you do it because it's your hunt. Hunt your hunt. It's your license, your experience. Do it the way you want to do it. But I had to force myself to do it the way I want to do it. And once I made that mental leap back into the basics, everything clicked, everything changed, and I'm back, and I love it, and I could not be happier. It is a little bit different, though, being out there with a rifle, I will admit. Most of my time in the woods has been with a recurve. And you think, well, if you got a 30-06 in your hands, of course you're going to kill a deer. Not so. That's a squirrely laugh. Not so. You have to see one before you can shoot one. Let's see. I got a lot of questions this last week, and I'll talk more about this at the end of the second hour in this week's Ask Avery segment. But I got a lot of questions this week and comments about some DNR patrols that were happening last weekend on I-75 between the Mackinac Bridge and Gaylord. And again, I will talk more about that, but I found it interesting that for some reason people thought, well, DNR can't do that. Well, why can't they do that? Conservation officers are law enforcement officers. They can stop you. They can stop you and they can check you. Now, they need a reason to stop you, right? They can't just stop you for no reason. But look, we all know, and I'm very pro law enforcement. Again, my dad was a cop for 35 years. But we all know that if a cop, and to me, when I say cop, that is not a sign of disrespect. If any law enforcement officer wants to stop you, he can find a reason. It's going to happen. They have to have, probable cause or whatever. They have to have a reason. But look, eventually, you're going to not use your turn signal. You're going to sneak a little bit over the speed limit. They can stop you. More on that, though, in the Ask Avery segment. We'll go in depth and exactly what that patrol was about, what the numbers found, how many vehicles they stopped, how many violations they found, how many CWD tainted deer they found, because that was the reason for the patrol. Continuing on the deer hunting theme for just a minute here yet. We are putting together next year, and this is not in Michigan, it's in Ohio, but forgive me for that. We're going to put together, what do we call it, an outdoor magazine bow hunt in Ohio with my friend Bill Piles of Ohio Bow Hunting Outfitters. We're going to announce the details on that, not Wednesday coming up, but a week from this Wednesday coming up. And if I had a calendar, I'll tell you exactly when that is. That is going to be on the 9th. On the 9th of December, on Wednesday Night Live, we're going to talk about that. We will have the dates, and we'll have the price. So that's something to keep an eye out for. We've only got room for a dozen hunters, so I think we'll fill that out very quickly. Speaking of Wednesday Night Live, we continue to do them every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock on the Mike Avery Outdoors Facebook page, on my YouTube channel, and on my Twitter feed as well, where we give away a ham for the holidays from our friends at Michigan Brand Ham. Also, Speedy Blaze, we're going to give away that for the next few weeks as well, I think. The blind promo continues. This is for that Wraith 270 see-through ground blind from Primal Tree Stands. Christmas is coming up. I was thinking about this the other day. I cannot think, if you've got a hunter on your list, I don't care if it's a turkey hunter, a bear hunter, a deer hunter, if you have a hunter on your list, this is probably one of the best Christmas presents I can think of. It's that see-through ground blind from Primal Tree Stands. It's called the Wraith 270. I've used it for deer hunting, turkey hunting, and bear hunting. I love it. You can get one for $200. Go to the website, outdoorpregame.com. That's outdoorpregame.com. Use the promo code Mike20, and you can get one for $200. What a great Christmas present that would be. Speaking of things coming up, don't forget about the deadline for the Pure Michigan Hunt. That is December 31st. You can apply multiple times. It's $5. 3 winners will be chosen. The winner will get a bear tag, a bull elk tag, a bunch of managed waterfowl hunts, some cool gear, and you can apply multiple times. But the bull elk tag is the one that really gets my attention. Deadline coming up December 31st. Coming up on this week's Outdoor Magazine show, after the break here, Ashley Autenreith from the DNR talking about the status of the season so far, and also details on something new for this year, and that is the inclusion of rifles during the muzzleloader season in the southern part of the state. There's a lot of confusion about that. Ashley will bring us up to speed on that and much more. Nick Buggia from the Michigan Wildlife Council talking about the renewed interest in the outdoors. Tom Campbell of Woods-n-Waternews. And hour number 2, we're talking fishing with Mark Romanek of Fishing 411. Dustin Eisenhoff, the guy who keeps track of the hunter numbers, will give us the exact numbers, how many licenses sold, how many new hunters, etc. This week's Ask Avery segment wraps up the second hour, again with more details on that CWD patrol on I-75 by the DNR. Last weekend, and in hour number 3, a Michigan wintertime tradition, beagles and bunnies, talking with Corky Legui. And then, of course, we'll wrap it all up with wild game chef extraordinaire Dave Miner. You can always get in touch with me. The email address, mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com. That's mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com. And the website is mikeaveryoutdoors.com. I would encourage you to check that out. It'll get you to all things Outdoor Magazine and Mike Avery Outdoors. Got to take a break. When we come back, talking about the late rifle season during the muzzleloader season and more right here on Outdoor Magazine. Ground blinds are a great option for hunters. They're safe, protect you from the weather, and they hide your movements. And the new see-through blinds take ground hunting to the next level because you can see out, but the game can't see in. Until now, you've had to pay a lot of money for that feature, but not anymore. Primal Tree Stand's new Wraith 270 see-through blind is just $200 if you go to outdoorpregame.com and use the promo code MIKE20. The Wraith 270 features 270 degrees of visibility, silent slide windows, and it weighs just 16 pounds. It's lighter and less expensive than the competition. To get yours at the discounted price, go to the website outdoorpregame.com. That's outdoorpregame.com and use the promo code MIKE20. That'll drop the price to just $200. Again, go to outdoorpregame.com, use the promo code MIKE20, and you can get a new Wraith 270 see-through blind for just $200. I think you're going to thank me for this one. You know, it's always a pleasure for me to find new businesses to work with, and this time I want to tell you about a company I used to put graphics on my new Silverado. Sign Image in Saginaw did a great job in coming up with a design for my truck, and they did a very professional job of installing the wrap as well. I started out with a hand-sketched idea of what I wanted, and the folks at Sign Image took it from there. The truck looks great, and I'm getting lots of compliments. But Sign Image does more than just wrap vehicles. They're a full-service graphics shop, and they specialize in signs and electronic message centers. In fact, they were voted the best sign company in Michigan 3 years running. To learn more about Sign Image, check out their website. It's signimage1.com. That's signimage1.com. On that website, you can see examples of their work, including a picture of my truck. Again, the website signimage1.com.
It's a complicated world we live in. Right about now, I'll bet your head is spinning like a tornado with news and opinions and conflicting do this and don't do that recommendations. Some days, you just want to throw up your hands, go to the woods, and stay there. And you know, that's not a bad idea. Jay's Sporting Goods encourages you to get back to your roots. Do some simple, traditional things for a while. In Michigan's great outdoors, space is one thing we have plenty of. So put as much social distance as you like between you and everyone else, including all your social media pals who somehow just recently became experts on every topic. And one more thing. Before you head out, head into Jay's Sporting Goods. Because even though there are shortages of a lot of things these days, Jay's has just what you need to make the most of your escape to our beautiful wide open spaces. It's the gateway to social distancing the way God intended. Jay's Sporting Goods, Claire and Gaylord.
Hey, you like to hunt for different game in changing conditions, but it can be expensive to buy hunting clothes in every pattern. Well, now there's a way to change your camo without breaking the bank. With VersaSkins, you can buy one set of hunting clothes and change the pattern to suit your surroundings. You can switch from whitetail to waterfowl, blaze orange, and snow camo by just snapping on a new skin. Plus, VersaSkins keep you warm, dry, and protect you from the elements. To learn more, check out the website versaskins.com. VersaSkins, just change the skin for the season you're in.
When you buy a Michigan hunting or fishing license, you're helping to fund conservation efforts across the state. The majority of funding for taking care of Michigan's fish and wildlife comes from you, hunters and anglers, not state taxes. So on behalf of the Michigan Wildlife Council, we'd like to thank you for your part in ensuring that Michigan's hunting and fishing heritage will be here for generations. Learn how the Michigan Wildlife Council promotes the role of hunting and fishing at hereformioutdoors.org.
You can hear the Outdoor Magazine show in Traverse City on WTCM. That's 580 AM. You can hear us in Alpena on WZTK 105.7 FM. And you can hear us north of the bridge in Newberry on WNBY 1450 AM. This segment of Outdoor Magazine is brought to you by Boning Archery. Michigan-based Boning has been a leader in the archery industry since 1946. These days, Boning continues to innovate with new products, great products. Next year, 2021, they're celebrating their 75th anniversary in the archery industry. What a tremendous accomplishment that is. The folks at Boning should be very proud. I would encourage you to check out their products and their website. It's boning.com, BOHNING.com. 75 years next year in the archery industry. Congrats to Michigan-based Boning Archery, boning.com. I told you there's been a lot of interest in, deer hunting this year in general. And some changes that we're dealing with this year, including, can we call it it's not really a rifle season in southern Michigan during the muzzleloader season, but it kind of is. Ashley Autenreith is a DNR wildlife biologist who joins us now on the Outdoor Magazine show to talk more about that. Ashley, welcome back. How are you?
I'm doing great, Mike. Thanks. How are you doing?
Wonderful. How is our Michigan whitetail season going so far from your perspective?
Well, it's an interesting year, which I'm sure is no surprise to anyone with it being 2020. But I guess it depends on kind of what perspective you're looking at. So if you look at our license sales, it's actually quite a good year. We are up 5% from last year. And some really good news. We have about 100,000 new hunters this year. We have an increase of apprentice license sales by 45%. So coming into the season, things were looking really good. The deer herd, we had lots of sightings reported, lots of trails, just deer sign. It was just looking really good. If you contrast that with our check stations, that picture is a bit different. So our check stations are down about 50%. If we kind of compare that with like the last 3 years average. But, to be fair, we have never had deer check during a pandemic. We did have to, fairly drastically cut, hours and days for check stations. And we did have to scale back our testing. So this was somewhat expected, but we really won't know the full picture of deer season until the spring when we do complete our survey of hunters.
Are the check station numbers down because there are fewer check stations, or are you taking that into account?
So we are basically taking that into account. Again, it's hard to tell because we did have to decrease hours and days. So many check stations were only open November 15th through the 18th, and that was it. Mm-hmm. And so we haven't done that before. This is new for us. This is new for hunters. So again, we did anticipate seeing a drop, but we don't believe that's actually reflective of the deer season. And that's what I mean by we won't know this full picture, because our license sales indicate, what we're hearing from hunters indicate that it's actually a pretty good season, barring we did not have the greatest opening day weather. and it's kind of been wonky weather since then. But, other than that, people are still seeing deer, harvesting deer. We just aren't necessarily seeing as many of them at check stations this year.
You being the department, you want hunters to take more deer, and one of the steps you've taken in that direction is to open up the late season in the southern part of the state in some areas to centerfire rifles. There's a lot of confusion about that, Ashley. Help us figure it out.
Well, yes. So a change this year is during the muzzleloading season. People are allowed to use a rifle or whatever weapon type was legal for that area during the firearm season. And that is a big change, you're right. However, we did have that in place throughout many counties in southern Michigan last year that were part of the CWD management zone. It proved to be pretty popular amongst hunters, and so in looking at regulations, this was a big year for regulations where we review basically all regulations for deer. This was a direction that staff wanted to move in after hearing from hunters, and they felt it was, an opportunity again to allow hunters, extra time and extra opportunity, frankly, to harvest more deer.
But if the county you hunt in, the area you hunt in, did not allow a centerfire rifle during the firearm season, you can't go out there now with a 30-06 or a 270, right?
That's correct. Yes, absolutely. So you're going to need to understand where you're hunting and what firearm type was legal during the firearm season, which would then carry over into the muzzleloading season. And of course, I'll mention, you can still use a muzzleloader too. Mm-hmm. There's nothing saying you can't. So I just want people to keep that in mind as well, that if they enjoyed that aspect of the season, they can still absolutely participate with a muzzleloader.
Now, is this for Zone 3 only?
It is, yes. So essentially, if you kind of follow that Zone 3 line, which, goes through Bay all the way over to basically Oceana, those full counties are included if it goes across the line, and everywhere south of there, essentially.
What about the use of crossbows in the UP during the late season? Is that in effect for this year? Or is that something you guys are looking at for next?
That would be something we're looking at for next year. It's a little different. So this year we do have a set of regulations that were brought forward in November for information to the Natural Resources Commission, which is our decision-making body on method and manner of take. And they are evaluating these for the 2021 season and beyond. So anything that was brought forward in November will not be in place for this season. But yes, that is being considered for 2021.
Ashley, we've heard so much about CWD the last couple of years in the Michigan deer herd, and then lately not so much. And I know it's because of 2020 and COVID and budget restrictions and you guys, working out of your houses instead of going into the offices and such. Are we not hearing about it because it's no longer a concern, or are there just other things that have gotten in the way?
No, it's absolutely still a concern, and we've still been working very hard in terms of, trying to manage chronic wasting disease where we know where it is, trying to identify chronic wasting disease, in potentially new areas, and still really those fringe areas that we've talked about for years now of making sure that we understand where the disease is and where it isn't. So, yes, internally, we're absolutely still working on that. We have put out actually quite a bit of information, but you're exactly right, Mike. It's up to news organizations on whether or not those are picked up. And, of course, there's been a lot of other things dominating the news. Even on opening day for firearm season, the governor's address, dominated the news cycle for days after that. And so, that's okay. I mean, there's a lot going on in the world right now. There's a lot going on in Michigan right now, and we completely understand that. But that has absolutely not stopped the work that we have been doing towards both chronic wasting disease and bovine tuberculosis. So it's absolutely still a major, major priority for us.
And when you talk about a lot going on, all the bad news, I was saying in the first segment of the show, and I've said it several times here on the show, one of the benefits in my eyes of this whole COVID situation is a renewed interest in the outdoors, a renewed interest in hunting, of getting away and social distancing and kind of reconnecting with our roots. And boy, we're really seeing that, aren't we?
Yeah, I think so. And that's why I'm really hesitant when people ask about the check station numbers. I want to say, don't put a ton of stock into, thinking that that's how the deer season's going, because actually I think it's quite the opposite. I think exactly like you're saying, a lot of people are taking advantage this year. Like I said, 100,000 new hunters. That's fantastic. We have these apprentice license hunters that now are going out with a mentor that weren't ever before. So this is great news in terms of conservation, in terms of wildlife management, and we're really actually excited to see kind of what the results are, and we hope that, we can build some momentum and carry this forward into the future.
Well, when you see this, for background for people who don't realize, hunters are your main management tool for Michigan whitetail. So you look at us, how many deer we harvest, how many hunters are out there. You get a bump this year. Does that then affect your management plan immediately, or do you have to look at this for a series of years to get a trend before you can take that into account?
Yeah, that's a great question. And we do typically like to go more from trends. 1 year of data can't really tell us much. It isn't necessarily signifying anything, but that's why I said we hope that we could, build some momentum from this and carry it forward into the future, essentially start a trend, right? So yes, that's what we would like to do. A lot of this information that, especially when it comes to hunter behavior, we won't have good answers for, quite a while, if ever. Sometimes we just don't know exactly what all the different factors influencing someone's decision is. So for us, that's going to take a while to really wade through, tease through. But at this point in time, we're trying to make plans to really carry forward of, recognizing people are showing a renewed interest. People are wanting to get out. How can we make sure that we are removing any barriers from, those people continuing to come out?
Yeah, let's hope it continues on into the future. I'm hoping that by exposing or maybe re-exposing people to the outdoors and to hunting, it's something that they'll stay with for a long time. Because as we know, very few people get exposed to hunting or fishing or shooting or trapping and don't fall in love with it and don't tend to stay with it.
Right. Absolutely. No, I completely agree with you. And our thoughts are the same, is that, if people are starting to, really appreciate the outdoors for whatever reason, but 2020 does seem to be singled out, how can we keep moving in that direction? So, absolutely.
Ashley, if folks have questions about rules, regulations, I always send it to the website, michigan.gov/DNR. Is there somewhere more specific on that site they should be checking?
Yeah, so I tend to recommend www.michigan.gov/deer. That is actually where you can find, all of the information you're looking for related to anything from check stations to disease testing to herd management. It's all housed there.
Michigan.gov/deer. Thank you, Ashley. Appreciate it, and we'll talk again.
All right. Thank you. Have a great holiday.
You as well. Ashley Autenreith from the DNR. I was going to say michigan.gov/DNR, but Ashley suggests michigan.gov/deer, which, of course, makes more sense. Of course, Ashley says have a nice holiday. We are recording the show on Wednesday before Thanksgiving, but, that whole holiday thing can go right on through the end of the year right now because we are indeed in the holiday season. Michigan.gov/deer. My website, MikeAveryOutdoors.com. You can always be checking on that as well. We'll take a break here in the Outdoor Magazine show. When we come back, Nick Buggia from the Michigan Wildlife Council, and we'll wrap up the hour with Tom Campbell of Woods-n-Waternews. That's all coming up in the first hour of this week's Outdoor Magazine. You can hear the Outdoor Magazine show in Battle Creek on WBCK. That's 95.3 FM. You can hear us in Sandusky on WMIC 660 AM and north of the bridge in Marquette on WDMJ 1320 AM. This segment of Outdoor Magazine brought to you by the Linwood Beach Marina and Campground. Linwood Beach can be your year-round Saginaw Bay fishing destination and your Mid-Michigan Tracker and Angler Quest headquarters. For more info, check out the website, linwoodbeachmarina.com. That's linwoodbeachmarina.com. Linwood Beach. If we get an ice fishing season, would be a great jumping off point for ice fishermen as well. And I'm getting some very nice reports of some very nice late fall Saginaw Bay walleye right now, too. Linwood Beach, a great jumping off spot for that. LinwoodBeachMarina.com. While you're online, of course, check out my website, MikeAveryOutdoors.com. Also, check out HereForMIOutdoors.org. HereForMIOutdoors.org, the website of the Michigan Wildlife Council, a group I've been working with since the council was formed. Nick Buggia is I think, Nick, you are the chairman of the group these days, aren't you?
Yep, currently the chair.
Well, congrats on that. How are things going?
Good. I saw you guys had some success at deer camp, it looks like.
Yeah.
At least your family did, and so that's kind of been trying to get out in the woods. Haven't been able to spend as much time out there as I would have liked, but we've got a few at our farm and definitely been seeing a lot. So it's a good time to be out in the woods, and we've kind of seen a large increase in license sales. I know back in the spring there was a huge increase in turkey license sales, and that's kind of continued in the summer with fishing and now with deer hunting. And we've seen big double-digit, gains and youth hunters and the number of female licensed buyers. And so I think it's been a real positive outcome from the coronavirus, something that obviously is unfortunate, but this might be one positive of it, is folks have more time to get out in the woods and spend time with their family and make some memories. So hopefully we can kind of hold on to some of those folks in the future, and more of them will be open to our message, and we can gain a few more sportsmen and women through this.
Yeah, that's the big question, isn't it? How, is this a one-time blip, or will these people stick around? But regardless, I mean, at the Michigan Wildlife Council, your goal is to educate people about the role of hunters and anglers. Primarily, it seems to me you primarily target the non-hunters and anglers, but if we can get an increase in the number of hunters and anglers as well, hey, that's a good thing too.
Yeah, yep, and what we've been seeing is a lot of first-time licensed buyers this year. So through our lens, it's kind of like more people might be open to our message. More people might be receiving our message as non-hunters and anglers that now have an experience to go along with that message. So we see it as a positive, and although our goal isn't necessarily to try to retain these new hunters and anglers, but it gives us a sort of another market that might be open to the message and now has an experience to put with that message.
Absolutely. Hey, Nick, do you know, is this a trend we're seeing across the country as well?
It is. Michigan, I think Michigan's done a little bit more in-depth digging currently. A lot of states, by the end of the year, will have more information, but yes, fishing license sales, turkey license sales were up in a lot of states, and I'm going to presume deer hunting licenses were probably up across the country too. So not just Michigan, but when folks are kind of self-isolating or self-quarantining and social distancing, they decide they wanted to get back in the woods and spend some time with family out in nature. So
no better place to put some social distance out there than in the woods or on the water. Hey, Nick, one question before I let you go. The scope of this project that you guys are involved in the Here for Generations campaign and Here for MIOutdoors.org at the Michigan Wildlife Council, because of the way COVID has affected a lot of funding, is there a concern that you guys are going to have to cut short what you want to get done because the money's not there?
So thankfully, knock on wood, our funding right now is secure. And a lot of that is because it is generated through the sale of licensed dollars. So that money's kind of already dedicated to go back. A portion of that is to go back to educate the public on the benefits of hunting and fishing. So luckily our our funding for now is secure, but the way we've had to market is kind of the way people are consuming information and consuming advertising has really changed. So we're trying to figure that out. Our next meeting in December, we're going to talk a little bit more about how to kind of bring sportsmen and women on board more, maybe use them as ambassadors and make sure that they're understanding the message as well. We're definitely looking at new ways to interact with folks, and that's kind of been a challenge, but I think overall it's a positive.
Well, Nick, I got to tell you, I think you guys are doing a great job. Your timing, in my opinion, was perfect, and I think you're doing something very, very important in promoting the outdoors. So keep up the good work at the Michigan Wildlife Council, the website hereformioutdoors.org. You can learn more about the Here for Generations campaign. Nick, good luck to you in the Whitetail Woods. We'll take a break here in the Outdoor Magazine show. When we come back, wrap up this first hour with Tom Campbell of Woods-n-Waternews right here on Outdoor Magazine.
At Garber Chevrolet in Midland, Saginaw, Linwood, Caro, and now Chesaning. We're better for a reason. Like Garber's low price guarantee. Get incredible everyday low prices on a new Chevy Equinox, Silverado, Traverse, or Trax. Think you found a better deal somewhere else? Bring it to us, and we will beat it. Getting more options and choices is always better. And Garber's combined inventory is the Great Lakes Bay region's largest selection of new Chevrolets. Browse online at GarberChevrolet.com. Then use our Buy From Home feature to purchase entirely online. And Garber Chevrolet's customer service is in a class of its own. We always put your needs first. Better prices, better selection. There's a reason why you'll do better at Garber Chevrolet in Midland, Saginaw, Linwood, Caro, and now Chesaning. Home with a low price guarantee. Online at GarberChevrolet.com. Chevy, find new roads.
You'll do better at Garber.
Have you tried the Mike Avery Hunter Sticks from Michigan Brand Meats? They feature two of my favorites, elk and pepper, and I think they taste great. I've been working with the Grillo family of Michigan Brand for a few years now, and I couldn't be happier. Michigan Brand is family-owned and based right here in Michigan, and they make lots of great products. From jerky, sausage, and those hunter sticks to their famous Michigan Brand hams, you can't go wrong with Michigan Brand meats. Plus, Michigan Brand can process your boned-out wild game, too. Check out the website, MichiganBrand.net, for more info. That's MichiganBrand.net. You can buy the Mike Avery Hunter Sticks on that website. Plus, you can get them at Jay's Sporting Goods, all Forward convenience stores, Jack's Fruit Markets, and many other great stores, too. There's a complete list on the website. Again, that's MichiganBrand.net for the Mike Avery Hunter Sticks, the outstanding Michigan Brand hams, and lots more. MichiganBrand.net. Security Credit Union wants to thank you for helping to make them one of Michigan's fastest growing credit unions. Check out Security's Debit Rewards program, where you can earn points just by using your debit or Titanium Rewards credit card. Redeem those points for great gifts and merchandise. Or how about the Save to Win account? That's a Security Credit Union account that gives you all the benefits of a traditional savings account, plus the chance to win big. Every $25 you deposit into this share certificate earns you an entry into the monthly and quarterly drawings. The more you save, the more chances to earn. Up to 10 entries per month. You'll build up your savings, earn interest and dividends, and have a chance at multiple prizes. And remember, Security Credit Union loves to work with outdoorsmen and women, and they can help you with your next outdoor adventure. Check them out online at securitycu.org. That's securitycu.org. Federally insured by the NCUA. The folks at Yider Insurance Group know you have lots of money invested in your hunting and fishing gear, and they want you to be protected. The Yider family has been in the insurance business for more than 75 years, and they build a reputation for taking great care of their customers. As a full-service agency featuring auto owners insurance, Yider can insure your fishing and hunting gear, your boat, snowmobile, ATV, and trailer, just about everything you depend on for your outdoor adventures. Yider also specializes in protecting outdoor-related businesses. From fishing guides to shooting ranges, anything for the great outdoors. The folks at Yider can help you because they're hunters and anglers themselves, and they know what we need from an insurance company. For more info, go to their website, huntingandfishinginsurance.com. That's huntingandfishinginsurance.com. Or call them toll-free at 800-975-6473. I trust the Yider Group and auto owners for all my insurance needs. Because with Yider and auto owners, you've got friends in the outdoor insurance business. You can hear the Outdoor Magazine show in Lansing on WILS. That's 1320 AM. You can hear us in Ludington on News 97.98, 98.7 WLDN. And you can hear us north of the bridge in Iron Mountain on WMIQ. That's 1450 AM. This segment of Outdoor Magazine brought to you by MUCC's On the Ground program. OTG is a program to improve habitat for fish and wildlife across the state. For details, check out the Michigan United Conservation Club's website. That's MUCC.org, MUCC.org. While you're there, if you use the promo code MIKE, all caps, M-I-K-E, all caps, you can save 25% on your MUCC membership or your renewal. How cool is that? While you're online, of course, check out my website, if you would, MikeAveryOutdoors.com, and head on over to woods-n-waternews.com, the website of Michigan's premier outdoor publication. And in my opinion, they have been for more than 3 decades. Tom Campbell with Woods-n-Waternews with us now on the Outdoor Magazine phone line. Tom, welcome back.
Hey, thanks, Mike. How are you doing?
Wonderful. How is your deer season so far?
Well, it's just been it's been fantastic. Haven't pulled the trigger or released the arrow yet, but we've seen plenty of deer. We've seen a lot of small bucks, of course, an occasional glimpse of the one that's on that list of nice bucks to take, but he hasn't presented a shot yet, so we're going to just keep after it. You know, now with the changes in the season, you can almost hunt for the next 4 weeks. So,
yeah.
And not just archery. So we got lots of time, and we'll see what happens. But
Tom, how can it be? How can it be when I open the pages of Woods and Water News, I see nothing but monster racks staring at me? How come I don't see those in the woods?
I don't know. Same with me, Mike. We probably are hunting the same deer. That's the problem. We are not in the right spot, I don't think. I don't know, Mike. It's incredible. It surely is incredible, and it's fascinating, and it's a great part of the job to be a part of, to hear all these stories and get all these photos and see how excited people are, and it surely makes it enjoyable, that's for sure.
In your opinion, are there actually more big trophy bucks being taken in Michigan these days, or are we just more aware of them because of social media and other communication platforms?
Yeah, I definitely think there is, Mike. I don't think there's any doubt. I know social media has made a big part of it. There's no doubt. We see them faster now, for sure. We see them, day after the day of, all right immediately. So that's truly a part. But from what I've seen, and there's a common thread with a lot of these guys that are sending these big buck photos in. There's still that lucky chance I sat down and this big buck came by and I took the shot. But so many of them now are, number one, they're very serious about their hunting. Number two, they do manage their property, habitat-wide, food plot-wide. And number three, they seem to all be selective harvesting and letting smaller bucks go and they have certain criteria the way they're managing their property as far as rack size goes to. So I think I think we've talked before that obviously we are becoming a much smarter group of hunters for sure. We have a lot more knowledge and present that and do it on a almost daily basis. So I definitely think there are bigger deer out there for sure.
Well, and one of the ways that this information has been spread throughout the years is the pages of Woods and Water News, and now on the website and the Facebook page as well. So you guys have done a great job in that, Tom. What are we going to see in this December edition?
Yeah. Well, the December issue, of course, there some big bucks on the cover, and there's loaded with a lot of more trophy photos inside. But there's some great stories. I love the story on our master huntress, a young 16-year-old young lady from Elk Rapids High School who not only took a spike during the youth hunt in the morning. That afternoon, she took a 250-pound black bear. So that's pretty incredible for a 16 to be able to take a buck in the morning. And then to follow that up, Mike, come October into the archery season, she took a beautiful 8-point that had a 17-inch spread. So, you know, we have great. These are the stories that you just love to live for, and makes this job exciting. So, we got that story in the December issue, of course, and even though we're all crazy about antlers and deer and bucks, we still cover all those aspects of fall open water fishing. And believe it or not, we've got 2 or 3 good stories in there on what you should be doing about ice fishing. Mark Martin gives you some tips on getting ready for that first ice, and then we've got some great information about once the ice is formed, how to fish it, and there's several of those in there, as well as more human interest stories. We got some big black bears as well. Well, unfortunately, the bears don't have racks, but there are some Boone and Crockett stories in there that Richard Smith has shared with us on a couple more Boone and Crockett black bears taken last fall. Or this fall, I'm sorry. And one was taken last fall, yes. So, yeah, we try to cover all the bases for sure.
Well, you do a good job of it. Where do we find the magazine, Tom?
Mike, you can find it at your favorite gas station convenient party store, hopefully. You can find it on the website, of course. And we love those subscriptions where you can get delivered right to your home.
And the website is woods-n-waternews.com. Thank you, Tom. Always a pleasure. We'll talk again very soon. That'll wrap up this first hour of this week's Outdoor Magazine. And I always make the mistake. I use the broadcast term. I always say, like, the December edition. And Tom's like, well, the December issue. I get it. We're talking tomato. I get it. We'll take a break here for the top of the hour. When we come back, one of the regular contributors to Woods and Water News is going to be a contributor to Outdoor Magazine. His name is Mark Romanek. Coming up after the break right here on Outdoor Magazine.